Right then, what are we? 3 minutes over, so we're running a little bit late. It's just me tonight. Angela's birthday today, so she's having the night off. Right then. We need to turn that down. So I will do my best to keep up with the chat whilst doing this. So we will see how we get on. Right. So where do I begin? Let's start with purchases. So, what have I bought this week? I can't remember. Last week, did I mention I bought a new set of paints? Was that last week? I can't remember. I think I've already done that, but I know what I haven't done. This came in the post, and just move them out of the way. I'm really pleased about this. Look at that. Is that not a beauty? This is a cold, I believe it's cold pressed reinforced resin. So it's 1-to-1 scale. So it's just the front sort of section of the head. And then we've got these teeth at the front. It's, of course, of the Aliens film. And I'm going to do all this like a deep sort of reddish brown. And then I'm going to 2K it as well. So it's got a nice shine to it. And I don't know yet about the rest. I'll have to have a look round and see how I feel about that. But yeah, I got that this week. It's only come a couple of days ago. Really looking forward to getting to work on that. And I'll keep you updated as and when. To be honest, I think that's all I've really bought this week. So not too much there. I mean more Citadel paints. I got some more Citadel paints, and so that's my collection's growing on that. I wanted to. I was reading some forums the other night, and one of the forums caught my eye because it was on about sort of paintbrush versus airbrush. Now, I use both. When it comes to these sort of models, I like to use paintbrush if I can, but sometimes there's just no getting away from it. The airbrush gives better results. And someone had commented that there's no skill involved in paintbrushing. All the skills sort of, in airbrushing. And I didn't think nothing of it straight away, but then I sat and thought about it, and I thought, no, that's completely wrong. Because I've seen people that can paint with a paintbrush and they leave virtually no sign that it's been done by a paintbrush. And that takes a great deal of skill, in my opinion, to be able to paint and not leave any brush strokes and give a great finish almost equal to that of an airbrush. I think that's becoming like a lost art. So that's just my 2 pence worth on that. I don't think it's right that people say there's no skill involved in paintbrushing. There's an immense amount of skill involved from paintbrushing. From selecting your brush, you need to know whether you need natural fibers or synthetic fibers, which shape brush. There's different shape brushes. We've got I think this is called a sword, this one, and then we've got like the fan type, and then you've got a sort of chisel type brush. Um, and so, that's to be taken into account as well. Then, you've got to mix your paint right to get it to go on without any brush strokes. And then once you've finished with the brush, cleaning of the brush, that's, it's not just a case of sticking it in some water and shaking it about. It you need to make sure you don't sort of touch the bottom as such. So on these ones I've got here, it actually holds the brush slightly from off the bottom. It's designed to work with Citadel brushes, I should say, but it does work on some other ones. And then, I have to then use a brush conditioner when I've finished to protect the brushes and make sure that they work fine in future for the future. So you see, it's not quite as easy as people would believe. I think the people that are saying it's easy are the ones that are thinking you just dunk your brush in, splash it about, and so that's just my opinion. So I think it's becoming a bit of a lost art, and people need to maybe have a stint at having a go at brushing and see how they get on. Anyway, so that brings us on to tonight's work. I'm not doing the X-Wing tonight. I thought I'd do something different for a change, just put the X-Wing on the back burner. I've been working on this, so I'm going to carry on with this. And I thought tonight we would attempt to do the scroll. If I can just show you. So the scroll, if it's going to focus in, come on. Come on, you know you want to. Oh, it's been really stubborn. Very stubborn. It's because it's white. Let me try and turn this down a fraction. I don't know about turn it down. I've turned it off, but it's really not. Well, that is a scroll on there, and there's writing indented into the plastic. So, oh, there we go. You can see it now. There we go, and it's on both sides. And so the object tonight is to, let me find the box, and I can give you a better idea of what we're trying to do. We're going to need that. This box is always disappearing. Every time I need it, I turn around and I can't find it. No, it's bloody gone again. Right. Not there. Not there. Let's just check in the drawer. No. It's frustrating. I had the box in my hands earlier on here. So we're going to have to do without it by the looks of it. I can't see it anywhere. Right, that's crazy because it was there. I had it all set up. Right, so anyway, the I've got nothing to show you what it looks like. No, even the instruction booklet's vanished. Right, so the scroll basically is two-tone. We've got like a light beige is the scroll itself, and then the lettering is a darker beige colour, so it stands out. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. So just as a quick run through as to what how I've done some of this. The bird was airbrushed. And that's three colours of blue. I can tell you that those colours, the darkest colour was Cantor blue, and there was the other colours were, what colour's that? Teclis blue and Lothor, is it? Is it Lothor? Lothern blue. So those are your three colours that make up the blues on that bird there. I was given some advice by Gil Mondragon, which I followed to the letter, and it's worked out great. So the only thing was I got it the wrong way around. So instead of going from base up to the top of the wing, I ended up going from the top of the wing down. So if we're looking at that. First of all, the base coat went down, which was the Cantor blue, and that sort of went over the first two rows of feathers. Then there was the second lightest colour, which just looking at them here, was the Teclis blue, and that was blended in with the darker shade, and then the lighter shade came in last, and that was blended in with all the previous two colours. I then came back with some white scar, which is Citadel's white colour, and just added a tiny bit to the bottom row and obviously the body, where you can see those white areas and the tips of the feathers on one side and a little bit on the other. Let that dry. Then I came over with some orange to highlight the beak and the rear tail feathers, which you can see there, and also the body underneath, just a small area of the body underneath. And I also done the same with the feathering on the base. Once that was dry, I then gave it a coat of, I used gauzy for this, I believe. I used a gauzy product, Shine Enhancer Intermediate, and that's just one coat over there that I put on just to protect it, and that I left that to dry. Then I came over with gold, which is it's already been painted gold once, but when I painted the bird, I ended up getting blue all over the legs. So I came over and done another pass with Mr. Colours Super Metallic Gold, Super Gold. It's a very, very nice gold finish, as you can see. It's really come out well. And I used their Super Chrome. Is it Super Chrome? Chrome Silver I used for the sword. I mean, look at that. That flash you get off that Super Chrome. It really is turning into a beautiful model. And then it took me about an hour just to do the sort of lightning in blue down the middle of the blade on both sides. It took me a long time to do that. I literally had to go step by step and water the blue down and just drizzle it in very slowly, one layer at a time. And that more or less brings us up to here. Obviously, I went over with Cantor Blue around the armor. And so now we're going to do this scrolling. So the plan is, because the lettering needs to be darker than the rest, I'm going to use these two colours. So I'm going to use Ushabti Bone and Zandri Dust. So the plan is Zandri Dust is going to go on first, and it's going to make sure it goes into all them letters. Not too worried about it, I mean, right out to the side, so don't really need to cover all the scroll as long as the lettering gets covered. Because then I'm hoping I can come along with a flat brush and just go over with your Sabti Bone and eliminate, just paint the rest of the scroll while leaving the paint in the indentations untouched. That is the plan. There's no guarantee this is going to work. So I'm just giving this a good shake. Unfortunately, I forgot to warm this up. Should have warmed it up, really, but I haven't. Right, so let's open that up and select the brush we're going to use. We'll open our paint palette. Put that lid off to one side. I need to put that out of the way. Right. I need a proper paint palette. I don't think this is working very well. Need to re-watch that YouTube video, I think. I did have it working okay, but this one doesn't seem to want to... No, that's not working very well at all. I'll just have to stick with the bottle straight out the jar. Just trying to think. No, I don't want that one. Let's go with... Yeah, let's go with that. So this is Zandri Dust. It's the darker colour. And the primary reason for this is to get it in all these indentations where the scroll is. If it doesn't work, I will have to come back, rethink my strategy. Might take a bit longer, but I think what will happen is if this doesn't go as planned, I will have to come along thin down the Xandri dust and do each letter individually will be a lot slower. But honestly, if I want it doing properly, then it'll be time well spent. Not necessarily time well spent for you guys, because you'll literally be watching paint dry. So I'll probably have to do that off camera. And we can, be careful, because my eyesight's not very good in this light. The light's a bit bright actually tonight, or it appears to be. Let me just turn it down a bit, see whether that helps me. So I should, let me just pause a second while I keep up to date with the chat. So, well, we have a bit of chat going on. Hi, Dave and Dr. Sprue. Welcome. Nice to see you again. I'll just pass Angela your messages. Eek, Dave says, are you referring to the aliens figure, I believe? That image has creeped me out for years. And then we've got Seymour Bobbingtons. Greetings, Mr. and Mrs. Sprue. Hello. Love the Alien movies. You, me too, Dave. Fun stuff, says Dr. Sprue. Dave Price. What no skill in using a paintbrush? They're talking out of their ear ends. The alien has nicked your box. It's under the table. You might find the non-stick paper is not allowed. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I have used this paper before with success. I think I'm just putting it in the wrong way around, because it's got one side is slightly waxier than the other, and I think all I'm doing is getting the wrong, putting the wrong side down. Can everyone see that? Yeah, it's very small. I know it's hard to see. But basically, there's the colour going on. It might pick up the detail on the lettering a bit better now. There's some colour there. Come on, there we go. So yeah, there you can see the lettering. So that's really what this Xandri dust is for, to keep that lettering that colour, and then we'll go over with a lighter colour, and hopefully we'll be able to just brush over the top. So we'll sort of go along sideways with a different type brush, maybe something like that, and hopefully it won't go in it'll pass over the top but not in the lettering. That's the plan. And then the plan for the base is these are just going to be like grey rocks that these are on here, and then I'm going to put in a textured base. I'm going to put a texture on the base, which will probably be a mud of some kind with some grass patches on it. That's the plan. And we've got the back side as well, which also has lettering on. Get that lettering blocked in there. And there too. I'm not too concerned if I catch the gold. I can always come back with the. I've got the super metallic gold, and it brushes on nicely. So I can come back if need be, and just go over that again. I'm not too, it does look a bit scrappy at the moment, but I'm not too concerned about going over the rocks or anything like that, because that will all get tidied up near the end when I start doing the base proper. So there we go. This is where it gets a little bit awkward, just trying to get into areas where you guys probably can't see it at all, because I can barely see it. There's an area in here that's exposed. I done well today. I managed to get a dislike, a thumbs down before I'd even gone on air. So that was quite an achievement, actually. People love me that much that they're going to go out of their way to give me a thumbs down before I've even started. There we go. We'll just come along. I know I said we didn't necessarily need to go all out and cover the whole scroll, but maybe if ever I do one of these again on this show, what I'll need to do is lower the camera. We've got gold coming in there. So there we go. I just want to make sure I haven't put too much in. Oh, we've got a. Might have been wiser for me to put a head torch on or something, because it's getting quite difficult to see these gaps and where exactly it is. This has got to go. Got a bit of paint on the tail there. We don't want that. Again, it can be removed later, but I can see it there. It's wet. I should just wipe it off. Right. So that's okay. So we've got that scroll painted how we want it. Well, the first step. So we're just going to. Now this is an acrylic, so this is just water in here. And while we're just waiting for that to dry, I want to have a brief talk on thinners. Something that's just annoyed me a bit lately, and I will get to that in a minute. So let me clean this brush up. So Seymour Bovingtons, the zebra finches are a bit quiet. Has KFC nicked them all? Well, we've actually only got one zebra finch, yeah, and has been a bit quiet. Unfortunately, Charlie, our guinea pig, passed away 2 days ago, so it's a bit quiet in here without him, which is a shame, but let's have a drink. Right. Thinners. This is only a small thing, so don't. I'm not getting in depth or anything here. So we all know about thinners. We buy them, just as examples. I'll grab the two that I use most. So obviously we've got Tamiya's X28 and obviously the ultimate airbrush thinner. Now, I think this is about £6. This is about five. So it says £5.75 when I bought it there, and they're all pretty much, comparable in price. Now, whatever differences I may have with various people, I still highly rate this product. This the UMP airbrush thinner is absolutely fantastic. It really does a great job, and it's really good. And it's £6, and you get 270 mils. This is £5.75, and you get 250 mils. So I went into Citadel, and I bought their thinner because I like to, where possible, use the company paint I'm using, use their thinner with their product. I know I can use this and it works very well, but sometimes I just like to use, or at least have it there as, in case, I don't know, in case something goes wrong and it's not painting right, I can always eliminate the thinner, the non sort of propriety or whatever it's called, thinner, and use the company's one, and then that eliminates the, you see where I'm going. So this is their thinner. I don't know how much is in that, but that's about, I think that's a couple of quid for this. And how much are you getting in that? 12 mils. A couple of pounds, and you're getting 12 mils of thinner. £6. Couple of quid, might be 2.55. I can't remember, but that's an awful lot of money for such a small amount of thinner. I don't know what to say about that. I was quite shocked, really. I haven't, now granted, I haven't been and looked into this further. I don't know if they do a bigger bottle, but I don't know. Maybe somebody out there can explain to me why this is 255. I'm going to say 255. I'm not certain, so don't quote me on this. But maybe somebody can explain to me why this is so much for so little, when you've got these other branded thinners. I've got others as well, and they are, Tamiya's normally an expensive product. So I don't know. Citadel, come on, play the game. Just people don't mind paying, for paint and things like that, but this is so obvious that I don't know. I know there's been a lot of stuff about Citadel, it going on, but anyway, I don't want to get into that. So let me just pop these away. So that was just something that irked me a bit. And you know what? I didn't even notice when I was buying it. I just picked it up and got it. I never thought nothing about it. And it wasn't until I got home and I sat there looking at it and it suddenly dawned on me, 12 mils, that's not a lot of thinner. I thought, I'm going to go through that. If I use this paint a lot, I am going to go through that very quickly. So, how many bottles of this have you got to buy to make up one of those? Well, 10 bottles would be 120 mils. So you need 20 bottles of this. 20 bottles of this to make up an equal amount. If it's $2.50 a bottle, 20 bottles, well, 10 would be 25 quid, or £20.50, 25 quid. Yeah, it's going to be damn near 50 quid. That's an extortionate amount. So needless to say, unless they do another bottle at a reasonable price, I won't be buying any more of their own thinner, unless there's some reason I have to. I really think they need to look at that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that was my little moan about thinner. So let's come back to this. Their paints, however, are very good. I mean, these are all Citadel paints, and the colours are bright and shiny, and they go down well. Right, so now we need to come over. Is it dried? I would normally leave this a bit longer, but still a bit. I should have brought a hairdryer down. I could have dried it off. I'm probably going to need to put my super duper spectacles on for this. I've not put any glass in them. Brilliant. Don't think these things through. Just seeing whether I can. There they are. And we'll get is it the biggest one? I think that must be it. That must be the highest magnification. Put that to one side. Sorry, got a bit of a blocked up nose tonight. Bit of a cold starting. Let's give these a clean. And then I'm sure I bought some new batteries for this the other day. Just want to check in my other set of drawers down here. Oh, that's my resin drawer. So what have we got? There we go. It's got some AAA. So is this a AAA setup or? Yeah, AAA. So let's take this out. Top quality entertainment here. Nothing but the best. So, little tutorial on changing batteries. You never know, might come in handy. How to change batteries. Right. And these are just the cheap batteries, really out of a pound store. So they probably won't last very long. They're Panasonic, allegedly. Right, and we'll put slot that home. Hopefully this will help me. Right, so let me pick a suitable. I'm just trying to think. That one might be best, but it might be a bit too big when it comes to doing up here. I don't know. I need something like that, but a little bit smaller maybe. Might that be too small? Yeah, that's the sort of thing we want, but we don't want it dropping into that writing. So let's see. Now I'm not going to thin this down because the thinner it is, the easier it's going to be to drop into the. Try and warm it up a bit. Obviously need a bit longer than what I'm giving it, but every little helps. My screen that's showing me the chat has fallen flat on its back, so I can't really see what anyone's putting at the moment. If anyone is putting anything. Let me just try and pop it up. There we go. Did not realise that I've done that too. Yeah. No, my for some reason my tablet just doesn't want to behave. Trying that again. So let's try the small one. Right, let's bring the magic spectacles down. Let's turn the light on. It's not very powerful, but don't want to load the brush up too much. There we go. So I've got a better. So although I'm going, it's still filling in them areas. So all I'm really going to be able to do is go over and then come back, try and sort them out in some way. Fortunately, it's going to be a long process, but yeah, no, I thought it had worked for a second there, but looking at it, I can see that it's. Let me just pop that up a minute. Looking at it, I can see that it's just gone into the lettering. It went over okay first pass, but then it's sort of dropped into the lettering. Um, so actually, what I'm going to do is I need to try and make sure that it doesn't sit in that. Oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, I think I've just put it on way too thick. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that works better there. I've put this on way too thick. It works all right down there. So it's almost bordering on dry brushing. Oh, that's working a treat now. So load the brush up, take all the paint off on the side, um, find a bit of scroll. No, there is none. Let's just wipe some of that off on the tissue there, and then just come over very lightly. And that's giving me the perfect finish for what I want. So we'll have to go redo that again. That section there. Again, bow, take that off. Excess on the uh, towel, paper towel. Hindsight now, being what it is, I would suggest doing the scroll first if you're building this kit. Come back. That has actually come out really well. So I'll show you in a second. On the back, I'm going to have to redo some stuff on the front there. So the trick there, oh sorry, I was off camera there. The trick there is to dry, is all very, very close to just dry brushing. We'll come back with a tiny brush and we'll just Just get a tiny bit of water on that and just see if I can put that on there just to try and thin that stuff out of the out of that writing. So I'm just going to come in with a damp cotton bud there, just to make sure I soak up everything in that writing. And them stars, you can see that the cotton bud's absorbing the wet paint. That's the water's sort of reactivated and it's sitting in the lettering. And because we've done it in a sort of like a dry brush, the writing has got that, the scroll has got that old sort of look to it. So let's try and see if I can show you where it's worked. We're going that way. And we're going that way. Come on. There we go. There we go. So you can see the darker lettering where it's worked on the inside against the lighter colour of the scroll itself. And that's where I'm going to have to go over in a second. Where it hasn't, where I went over with it too thick, and underneath it's worked. And it's got that old sort of look to it as well. But what I will do now, just to make sure everything's what I can do is seal that with maybe gauzy, just give it a coat over to seal it, and then I will come along with maybe I'll maybe use the burnt sienna ink I've got, and that will bring out the detail even further in all this. And actually, if I go over that with the washes, I shouldn't need to come back over with the Zandri dust, because the null, if I use null oil, that's a lot darker, and that should settle in that writing and give it the look that I'm after. So we will do that now. Then the question is, I don't know whether that paint's going to be dry enough to put a coat of sealant over it. Ordinarily, I would have to leave that. I don't honestly see any point at this time reaching, trying to rush this by putting a coat of shine on it so that I can go on to the next step. I think I'm going to have to leave that to stand for a bit, let that dry, and then maybe later on tonight I'll come back and give it a coat and then go over it with some Nuln oil. So that said, I think that will conclude this part now. There's nothing more. Mind you, yes, there is. We could attach the sword. We could try Citadel's new glue. Well, not new, new to me. I shall tell you why in a sec. Let me take that off. So when I first put this model together, I had a really difficult time. I'm just trying to see which brush it is I've got to clean. I can't remember which one it was I used. I think it was this one. I used the Tamiya extra thin, but the plastic from Citadel did not want to stay together. It was really quite difficult. Normally with models, I can use a Tamiya thin, press it together, and it sticks. This, I was holding it for 5-10 minutes and coming and unclamping it, and the join was very fragile. And in some cases, it just fell apart. I did find that super glue worked very well, but I've got a bit of a thing about glues, and I like to have the right glue for the right job. So I went in and asked, and they said that their glue is not, this glue is not super glue, but it's not like Tamiya extra thin either. So I thought I'll give it a go. I've tried all the others; they didn't work very well. The only one I found that works is the super glue. So we're going to stick this on. So that's the face. Can we stick the head on and then paint the face later? Just wondering. Or am I easier to paint the face off the model? All right, let's keep that to one side. Let's put the sword on. So here's the sword, and it fits across his back. Might need tweezers for this. Not sure which way it goes. So that goes in there. So we're going to need tweezers. Oh, there they are. Got a new set of tweezers. I've done a video on them actually. I don't know whether I've made it public yet or not. I've got a few videos that have been done over the last few weeks. I just haven't got round to making them public. Which is going to seem a bit odd when they finally go out, because I talk about things that have already been done and dusted. Right, so there. Right, place that like that. Now then, all best plans. So this is live. This is probably going to go disastrously wrong. First things first, let's clean an area so that the plastic, the paintwork doesn't interfere with the glue. So I just want to clear off the, and this is basically a fiberglass pencil which just gently, well, as gently as you want it to be, takes the surface off. Takes the paint off the surface. Make sure that that doesn't get in the way. And then there we are, there it is. Now Citadel glue, it was £4.30 for this. It's quite a lot in there. I can't help think that it looks very much like the Revel one, only a different colour. But never know, we'll see. Right. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure. If it goes that way. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. The wrong way around. That's why it's not working. Oh, best laid plans and all that. All right, we're in at least. Let's give that a push, seat that home, and then leave that, and hopefully that will seat. And I think we might be able to get away with putting the wings on, which I'd done earlier. Because everything is down by the scroll. There's only the head really that needs to sit on. Now let's just see. Doing a little dry fit here. Make sure that it fits on okay. I've got a feeling the bird's going to be in the way for this. Which is going to be a problem. So that sits there. Yeah, the bird's slightly in the way, very, very slightly. That's going to be a problem. So, what to do? I think we're going to have to. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do that on here, but basically, I'm going to have to come in with some glue, try and debond that there, so we can roll this bird down and away from these wings, because he's definitely in the way. And we need to clean up this fit in here, because obviously maybe it might just be that the paint is. So let's see if we can. I just didn't put the wings in the right area. It's going to go on like that. Yeah, the bird needs to move. Yeah, the bird's got to move. That went on with super glue. Yes, that's a bit of a problem then, so I'm going to have to think on that. I'm not sure. I've got some nail varnish remover. Well, will that seep into there, I wonder? Still got 15 minutes. Let's just give it a go. Let's get some nail varnish remover on that join and see whether we can. So this is just a nail varnish remover from a pound store. It's basically, I forget what the chemical is in it. Acetone. So not very pleasant stuff, you know. Be careful around it. Certainly don't let kids play with it. So I'm just soaking a cotton bud. Actually, I might just try and dribble. Let's see. Got a little bit of movement at the back. I don't want to use them. They're my new tweezers, some old tweezers. Let's just see if I can. Might do a bit of damage to the tail, but I'm sure we can. There we go. We'll repair that and that. In fact, we'll rub that back down before. Get that smooth again before I put the wings on. Very lightly, just go over that. Hopefully people won't notice with it being so everything going on in that area. That's, well, I've got to say the glue's worked on the. Oh, that's loose still. I have to reserve judgment on that until tomorrow when it's completely dry or almost dry, and then I'll let everyone know whether it's worked or not. So now we can get them wings on. And they will settle down overnight so that they should be And the plastic scraped off around the edge from where I've test fitted it. They're the same. And hopefully, this is where I had the problem with the other glues. No. What have I got that I can clamp that with? It's just that it doesn't seem to be wanting to stick at all. So all I can do. I think I might have to go back to the super glue. Strange that they bring out this is their glue for their product. Are we sticking? We've got a little bit, so it is going slowly. I must admit, I was expecting something better. I really didn't want to be sat. Right, so, I mean, it's just basically trying to get it to. What have I got that will clamp that? There may be tweezers. Let's have a look at the tweezers. So, there we go. Bingo. Are we straight as we want? I think there might be one wing that's slightly askew, but move them to one side a minute and lay that down like that. Leave that to go off, and hopefully tomorrow that will be. I was going to say something, and then I better think of a better phrase than that. That will be gone off and be solid. Just checking again to make sure that that is. Yeah, that looks okay. I'm quite pleased with this. This is only my second figure of this type. My first one being it was a Stormcast Eternal, but it was one of those little free ones they give you to entice you into the game. So we'll pop a little pot there just to prop that up. And there we go. So just have a quick catch up on the chat. And I'm still working on the giveaways. There is going to be some giveaways. There's going to be, where did that come from? Oh, that's out the Porsche. There's going to be a giveaway in the form of, just trying to think, the first one I wanted to make a bit special if I could, but I'm still working on the details of that. I don't want to say anything in case I can't follow through with it. So let's just go through the chat. So we've got a Dr. Sprue message retracted. Message retracted. Bottle is always more expensive than the contents, though. He's referring to my little mini spat on Citadel's thinner. I think you need to dry brush it, Mark. Dave, you're absolutely right. I did need to dry brush it. And yeah, I can imagine that happens to me no end of times. I say something and then somebody's doing it before I've even got there. So is that not going to strip the paint? I think you're referring to the nail polish remover. Yes, it was going to strip the paint in that area, and it has stripped it a little bit. I weighed up that situation, and basically it's just the tail needs, I just need to sand that tail slightly to remove some of the old glue, and then that is the area where it'll reattach anyway, so I don't think you're going to see that. And the area on the scroll, once that's painted, you're not going to see that either. So I'm not really concerned. It was a very small area, and I think it had to be done because it just wouldn't have looked right with the bird all tangled up in the Stormcast Eternal's feathers at the back. So I really think it was necessary in that case. We've got Rob B coming in. All right, everyone. Dave says, yo, Rob. Asked, has he missed much? No. I was going to say figure, but that may have been misconstrued. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm making a model while watching. It's cool to see how to hand paint. Yeah, I like hand painting, especially when it comes to models like this. I really enjoy it. I think you get more satisfaction out of hand painting something, but that's just my opinion. Waiting for wood glue to dry on my balsa ship hull. Angela's actually, for her birthday, she got a wooden ship, and she's going to be putting that together at some point. I don't know whether that's balsa or not. But your scratch building a steam puffer skylight from plans at a small scale of 1/128th. Cool, yeah, that does sound fun. Jan's come in. Love the show again. Thanks, Jan. So Rob says he prefers to hand paint, and that brings everything up to date. So thanks for joining me and watching the build. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I don't know, you might have picked something up, might have learned something. I don't know. Hope you have. Hope it's inspired you to maybe go out and buy one of these yourself and have a go. They're really nice kits. They do seem expensive when you buy them, but then when you get them home and you consider that all the work you've got to do to them if you want to make them look really good, then it's probably worth it. Then I've been on this a couple of weeks. Granted, I've not been modelling anywhere near as much as I was modelling. I was modelling sort of twice a day, 8 hours a day. and now I'm just a couple of hours, every day maybe. So yeah, it's really been scaled back. But I've enjoyed doing this, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. So hopefully I'll see you all next week. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. A thumbs down if you haven't. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye for now.